episode of In a Week. I'm your host Sohaim. Today we're going to do another book review. It's a book called Spirit of Japan, written by Sean Michael Wilson. And here's a copy of the book itself. And now let's go dive into the book review. So before we deep dive into the book review, I wanted to introduce you guys to the author of the book. Sean Michael Wilson is a Harvey and Eisner nominated comic book writer from Scotland, and he has had more than 30 books published with a variety of US, UK, and Japanese publishers. Although he writes Western-style graphic novels such as adaptations of classical novels, he often works with Japanese and Chinese artists on manga-style books. And Sean is currently the only British creator writing books for big Japanese publishers, Kodansha. His book Secrets of the Ninja was awarded a medal in the 10th International Manga Awards of the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the first British person to receive that award, and he has given talks on Gekiga-style manga and AX in the US, UK, and Japan to try to increase knowledge of mature literary style manga. Sean explains that the inspiration to write this book came from his conversations with people in the West who describe Japanese people as either non-spiritual or godless. And the function of this book is basically to refute this idea and argument that Japanese have no spirituality. Since he has been living in Japan for many years, he said in his time in Japan he attended many fascinating festivals and rituals, and he began to think that it's not possible that Japanese are not religious, and all of these rituals and festivals have something spiritual about them. Now, I found this book by accident, and as I'm searching in my favorite bookstore, Kinokuniya, for different manga and books of interest, I have a habit of going on all the floors and find out what is new in the store. And on the display, they had multiple books in Kinokuniya, a branch in New York City across from Bryant Park. And I came across this display and I found this book, The Spirit of Japan. And what caught my eye was the very colorful presentation and illustration on the book cover, which was so pretty. And even inside the book, the illustrations, when I opened up the book, luckily it was not inside a plastic, so I could scroll through the pages and find out exactly what the interior of the book looks like. It's very colorful. That's one. And when I checked the table of contents, it was full of information that was really interesting. The book itself is no more than 100 pages, and that includes the illustrations and the page of content and the rest of the stuff in the book. And I really did not mind paying $14.95 for this book, because when I checked the table of contents, it was full of topics that I never came across before. And in my view, it was worth the price to learn about these new topics, which was related to Japanese spirituality as well as festivals and rituals. Now, keeping in tradition with my other book reviews, I'm not going to discuss the content of the book because I always want people to actually read it themselves. But what I try to do in my book reviews is to present the general idea to the people, that what kind of information they're going to take away by reading this book. Now, to give you an idea, the book actually discusses 3 different kinds of festivals and rituals. And it has to do, of course, if you're aware about Japanese culture, Shinto is the primary, then it's Buddhism, and also the modern Western influences on Japan. So it discusses all of these 3 inside the book. Now, of course, this is not a complete list of all the festivals and rituals, but the purpose of the writer is to illustrate to the people about how these rituals and festivals make the Japanese people's lives more meaningful. So what I have noticed is that Japanese society is not very rigid in its understanding of spirituality. Unlike in other parts of the world where the dogma and doctrine takes hold of the life of an individual and very much dictates how things should be done,
Japanese spirituality is basically a hodgepodge of anything that Japanese people like, and they adapt it according to their own traditions and understanding, which is very different from the rest of the world. One of the things that I noticed that it is not very hard for Japanese to follow both Shintoism and Buddhism as a part of their religious or spiritual tradition. And I think for me, the modern adaptation of Christmas and Halloween kind of opens the door for my understanding about the ancient Japanese festivals as well. What I'm trying to say over here is I got to understand that for Japanese, it's not the dogma, it is not the doctrine, it is the act of being together as friends or family that is very important. If you like the content, please subscribe, like the video, and comment below. Help the channel grow. Thank you for watching in a week.